Hello, and welcome to Artists' Books Unshelved at the Cynthia Sears Artists' Book Collection. Gone Fishin by Asuka Ohsawa and Animals on Wheels by Stephanie Krause are two books that bring us along on playful adventures. Both initially drew me in with their light-hearted style and stories, and small moments of defiance against expectations and rules. Subsequent readings reveal many deeper layers of ideas and reflection, but I'm still smiling along each time, always connected to the delight that originally drew me in. Asuka Ohsawa works primarily in drawing, printmaking, and artist books. Her style is graphic, playful, and frequently references the panoramic landscapes of traditional Japanese painting, particularly emaki, handheld scroll paintings. Gone Fishin begins with a character opting for a joyride instead of going to work. Carpe diem, she says, is a famous Latin phrase that means seize the day, enjoy life. It also means don't go to work. Now I see how the title evokes the trope of the gone fishing sign outside of a shop closed up for the day. But I also note that the word carpe in the Latin phrase is close to carp, and further brings to mind koi, the colorful ornamental carp identified closely with Japanese culture. For Ohsawa, Gone Fishin developed from the question of how to translate the panoramic landscape format of Japanese emaki into a codex form. Emaki typically take us on an unbroken journey from one place to another across a single image. Traditionally, these hand scrolls were not displayed fully unrolled. Rather, the viewer would spend time with a small section, taking in the carefully depicted details of the scene before them. As the character in Gone Fishin sets out on her bike through a friendly park, each page turn could easily be a connected section of a painted scroll. Opening this gatefold reveals a comic-like sequence inside. In direct violation of the posted sign, our character scoops up a fish, like a kid winning a goldfish at a summer festival. Playing hooky and pilfering fish? She's a little naughty, this one. We continue the joyride, passing billboards and shop signs. Ohsawa wanted to experiment with bilingual typography in this book, and referenced her extensive photo database of store signs and architectural features taken during her travels around the world. Her illustrations also reference the small fishing town in Japan where she grew up. There, the main street was lined with seafood restaurants and shops selling fish. Moving past the cute illustrations on the billboards and advertisements, I feel like I am walking through just such a main street in this character's world. The fish theme continues as we enter an aquarium. Our character, instead of marking the fish in the aquarium she has spotted, notes which fish she has eaten. These little transgressions are humorous and delightful, and they propel me forward through the book, eager to see what our character is going to do next. The journey continues, and we find ourselves looking at a page from the newspaper about the proliferation of seafood fraud. This shift to a more serious topic developed out of a significant episode in Ohsawa's life, when she had a severe allergic reaction to mislabeled seafood. She subsequently became obsessed with the rampant seafood fraud and lack of oversight in the US. I am brought out of the book a little, back to reality, considering the different implications between small transgressions, such as pilfering a fish, and large ones, like intentionally mislabeling fish for commercial profit. We reach the end of her day, back at home, where our character presents the purloined goldfish to her cat, who receives the gift with hungry enthusiasm. It is left ambiguous whether the fish is meant to be a new pet, a souvenir of a day claimed for oneself, or dinner for the kitty companion. I like this subtle, open question at the end. That small, unresolved feeling makes me want to go back to the beginning of the book and delight in the journey again. Animals on Wheels by Stephanie Krause takes us on another entertaining adventure, this time through a skating rink for animals. Krause has been an active illustrator, book artist, and teaching artist for more than 2 decades. Her work is humorous, playful, and resonates with a freedom from self-censorship. She told me she began making this book primarily to make herself laugh. Aside from black, the only colors in this book are the yellow claim tickets and the red no's and nots, which draw my eyes to the signs on each page. The text in this book is only on signage, and most of those signs are rules, almost oppressively telling the skaters what they can and cannot do, and where they can and cannot do it. These signs, however, show Krause's clever humor and considerations of animal anatomy and behavior. One sign early on notes that each animal will receive 1 wheel per foot, except legless animals, who can receive up to 6 wheels of their choice. After reading that, all I could focus on was finding a snake on skates, which I was gratified to discover a few pages later. This popular skating rink is full of animal activity, often in spaces dedicated to their instinctive behavior. One of my favorites is a rat hanging its head in shame under a sign reading, "Parents found eating their young will be asked to leave." The rat's mate chastises it, and a rabbit points with stern accusation. It was only on my 3rd reading that I noticed one of the rabbit's young, looking out past the barbed wire of the birthing area. We turn the page to see the little bunnies have snuck out, ready for their own adventure. Animals on Wheels overflows with little details like this, propelling the characters and movement forward. Another of my favorite storylines comes midway through the book, where we see a prominent sign declaring "No dogs allowed." Behind the sign is a dog, presumably dressed as a bird to sneak in. It is getting kicked out of the rink, and in the foreground we can just make out the paws and a nose of other dogs, protesting the exclusionary policy. At the end of the book, in a clever development of storyline and playing with the formal conventions of an artist's book, the dogs have painted over the sign, which Krause repurposes for the book's edition number and her signature. Although Animals on Wheels does not specifically reference the traditions of emaki that Osawa took inspiration from in Gone Fishin, I feel similar panoramic explorations across time and space. Both books take me through lusciously imagined settings, interspersed with humorous moments of defiance. They make me smile, eager to delight in the journeys again and again.